Real America for 15% off.
Go pills and soldier fuel.
Let's go.
And there they are, Broad and Wall. Women, okay, we're the men. We're the dude. Now 600 on the NASDAQ. So it's a massive turnaround. When Trump came out and said the U.S. Navy will be escorting ships through the Strait of Hormuz, and everything changed. Oil came down. It's still too high, still $72 a barrel. Still too high. It's right there, 73 right there. Things did change, though, when Trump said that. We'll take a look at the gold market, down 193. Remember, folks, that's a big move down, but we've had massive moves up in gold and silver. These are good things. And crypto is still trying to figure out what it wants to do. Crypto was trading 69,000 late last night, early this morning, back to 66,000, now it's 68, all over the board. There are people who are speculating that Iran, as the Iranian leadership is trying to get out of Iran, they're buying crypto and Bitcoin to hide their money so it doesn't get taken away from them. All right, folks, the conflict with Iran, clearly, definitely the economic top story. Investors reacting immediately and constantly. Oil surging. That's just one example. Here to discuss is Birch Gold Group precious metals specialist Patrick Phillip. I'm going to point out that, yes, gold did move down a bit today, but we're looking at we're still looking at $5,300, $5,100 an ounce. I looked this up. In January of 2025, a little more than a year ago, $2,500, Phillip. We're more than 105% higher than in 1 year and 1 month. Think about that.
You're absolutely correct. And still up over 15% for the year. So gold's moving, as you pointed out, these retracements, not uncommon and welcome. And things like this that we're seeing, military action, good for gold longer term, but always creates volatility shorter term and creates price buying opportunities. And I think that's all we're seeing today.
Yeah, and I think we're also seeing a lot of times when there's a regime change, like possibly what could be happening in Iran, it happened in Iraq, it's happened in other countries, the people with the wealth, I mean, most of the people in these countries are poor, but the ruling class has the wealth. They tend to try and park their money in places like gold, silver, Bitcoin, and others. So you may be seeing the beginning of a move up. I'm talking my book here, folks. I own gold. I've owned gold my whole life, and Phillip will tell you I love Birch Gold Group. I'm never selling my gold. I just like to see everyone else making money with me. Phillip.
Yeah, I agree vehemently. That's the best part about what we're doing at the moment, is seeing the effect that it's having on people's lives. You said it yourself. Gold has doubled in value in the last 13, 14 months. That is unprecedented, but it's a reflection of a very volatile market globally. And these times really do suit precious metals. I think what we're seeing in Iran and globally at the moment is just creating a stronger climate for gold and silver moving forward. So like I said earlier, these little retracements, not little, 3.5% that we saw today. For me, it's welcome. It creates buying opportunities, and it's not a huge surprise given the action we've been seeing on the upside. But my concern, as you mentioned, is oil prices, right? If the Iranians, they say they're going to close the Straits of Hormuz, not that they have the ability to do so, but that's 20% of the global oil supply. So if we do start to see oil supply getting choked off, that's going to have an effect on inflation. It's going to have an effect on Federal Reserve policy. So it's going to have an effect domestically as well.
Well, here's something real interesting. Well, here's some real interesting, Phil. So this big move down in gold today, 190, whatever, down. You know what brings us back to? 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, it was at this price before it continued, and it will continue. It's just, this is the way you want to relieve some of the pressure. Think of the gold market as a balloon. You know it's going to get bigger, but you don't want to get too big too fast. You want to relieve some of it and allow it to go. When you get these people who are speculating, right? So they make some money. You want them out of the market. Get them out. They made their money. Let them go. Now this becomes a more solid investment with, as you point out, a retracement like this, 3 or 4%. Airball, nothing.
Yeah, it's absolutely correct. And we're seeing it. Look, as you rightly point out, we're not seeing long-term buyers of physical gold exiting the market. This is traders who are seeing huge returns, then being asked to increase margins to hold positions, and it always leads to a sell-off. This happens every single time. We see big crashes, right? Back in '08, big market crash. Gold drops with the market on the back of margin calls, and then it picks up and starts moving. So we expect the same thing. And as you rightly point out, it was 2 weeks of growth. We're going to see it back very, very shortly.
And very quick, about half a minute or so, Philip, Trump has said this thing's going to go on for a while, this conflict in Iran. Any question the Iranians aren't through with the rest of the world yet? And when that happens, everyone flights to go, it's a flight to safety, and gold is one of those safety flights, destinations.
Yeah, duration's going to be really important here. The longer this thing drags out, the more it's going to squeeze oil prices, the more it's going to fuel inflation, and ultimately the higher prices go. So I think the administration are looking for fairly swift action, or at least as swift as possible, in, out, and hope for the best. Look, I think this is short-term pain for long-term gain. The Iranians have been a problem for 30 years, and telling them they can't do it and letting them carry on isn't a solution either. So we'll see how it shakes out, but this is more volatility, and I think great for precious metals.
Always good to talk to Philip. Philip Patrick always knows the gold stuff. And this next time we'll talk silver, because that's a lot of people want to hear that too. Philip, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Listen, let me explain to you guys this in simple English, okay? Iran is run by lunatics, religious fanatic lunatics. They have an ambition to have nuclear weapons. They intend to develop those nuclear weapons behind a program of missiles and drones and terrorism that the world will not be able to touch them for fear of those things. And this is the weakest they've ever been. Now is the time to go after them. The president made the decision to go after them, take away their missiles, take away their navy, take away their drones, take away their ability to make those things so that they can never have a nuclear weapon. That's why the president made this decision. It was the right decision, and the world will be a safer place when these radical clerics no longer have access to these weapons.
All right, folks, my next guest agrees with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and he says what happened in Iran was 47 years overdue. Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. Back on the show to discuss is the congressman from the great state, this great state, fine, the freest state in the union, Florida. Randy Fine. Congressman, good to have you. Let's talk a little bit about what you're seeing, what you're thinking. Trump today said he's going to escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz that ease the pressure on oil prices. It didn't really ease the pressure on Iran. I noticed that they're now sending missiles into Saudi Arabia, into Bahrain, into Oman, into Qatar. How do you see this? How do you read this? Is it going to be swift, or will it, Trump says, could be weeks? What are your thoughts?
Well, thanks for having me again. I think what we're seeing is Iran acting in an erratic manner. I don't even understand what they're getting out of attacking these other Islamic countries. All they've done is gotten them on our side and Israel's side. Whoever would have thought that Qatar and Israel might be working together to attack the same country? It's extraordinary. I think the mission is going very well. We've taken out a whole lot of people. Everyone's working together to eliminate the threats that Secretary Rubio, who's done an incredible job, has talked about. I think it may take a week or two. We've got a lot to blow up. But I think that once it's done, I think the world will be a safer place. Not only will the world be a safer place, but Iran will be a better place, because all of that oil that they're selling, first, it doesn't go to Western countries. It all goes to China, and it goes at a deep discount because all of that oil is sanctioned. So if the Iranian people could put that oil on the open market, they would get more money, and it wouldn't be going to fund terrorism. It would be going to fund improving their lives. So this is a big deal, and I think the president's doing a great job.
You know, what about those who say, well, it's only because everyone wants to side with Israel on this? And I will add that you have a couple of members in your caucus, Democrat members, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, who have a real problem with what's going on.
Well, look, I'd say Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib are upset that their friend got killed, the Ayatollah. So, I mean, I don't take what they say with any grain of salt. I think people are missing the boat.
You say their friend, or their boss? Sorry, I'm just clarifying.
Yeah. Israel's had to live with Iran for decades. Why we had to intervene is because of the new threat to us. See, Iran always could hit Israel with rockets. We're seeing that right now. You know where they couldn't hit with rockets? The United States of America. And as the Secretary talked about in that clip, they have embarked on a crash program to build missiles that can hit the United States of America. The only reason they need intercontinental ballistic missiles is to hit the United States of America. And they want nuclear weapons on those missiles. And when you hear someone yell for 47 years, death to America, when you see them kill hundreds, if not thousands of Americans and our soldiers, we should believe them, and we should not allow that to continue.
So take us through what should happen. All right, so the Ayatollah is gone and dead. Now, there are two factions that have run Iran in the past. It's been the government, and it's been the mullah class, the religious class. The religious class have run it since the Shah's era. if they try and replace the Ayatollah Khomeini with another Ayatollah, should we continue to bomb Iran, or what's the end game here?
Well, I think they've done that. I think they've been through a few Ayatollahs at this point. It's not a very long-term job, apparently. I think the long-term goal is for the Iranian people to run their own country. And something that I think makes Iran different than, say, Afghanistan is it is in the DNA of the Iranian people to be a Western society. It's what they were before these Muslim religious leaders.
That's what I'm getting at, sir. That's exactly what I'm getting at right there. Because I'm old enough to remember when there was a time where Tehran was an up-and-coming city. It was a place that young people wanted to thrive. It was a very, almost a capitalist city at one point. And then these Muslim fanatical Islamists took over and started death to Israel, death to America, and it changed for the worse. It almost went back to the dark ages. Should we hold out? Should the United States hold out for a regime change that brings it back into the 21st century?
Yeah, and I think that's what's going to happen. 40,000 people were gunned down by these Muslim religious leaders because they wanted to be a free Western secular society. So I want a government, I want a country that screams friend to America, not one that screams death to America. And I think that's what the overwhelming majority of Iranians want as well. They want to be a friend to America. They want to be a friend to Israel. And think about what an incredible thing that would be for the world if one of our three global enemies, if you will, Russia, China, and Iran, were to go away. It would help us with Russia and China as well. Where are all these drones coming from that Russia is using to attack Ukraine? That's why I would think the Democrats would be thrilled. We're taking all of that out. And again, China's getting all of this under market oil from Iran. So this is an unambiguous good, what the president is doing. The only people who don't like it are those who like Muslim terror, or I guess the Russians and the Chinese.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Congressman, before I let you go, though, how is it? What's going on with your Protect Puppies from Sharia Act? It's not a joke, folks. Tell us about that very quickly.
Well, we saw that Democrats came out a couple weeks ago and said dogs are unclean. They are not halal, or they are halal. They violate Islam. And there was talk about getting rid of them in New York City. So we filed a bill that says Americans have a right to own a dog. It's crazy to people that there are people in our country who don't want us to have them. My bill would simply say any state or local government that bans people from owning dogs as pets can no longer get money from the federal government. And we may think that's crazy, but look at all the crazy things that are happening in New York right now.
I don't think it's crazy at all. I think you're doing the right thing, because what I've known for years, that I was called a bigot years ago, it's called Sharia creep. Sharia creep is real, folks. It implants itself within the United States, and it creeps from Dearborn, Michigan, from Minneapolis, Minnesota, from New York City now. We have to be careful. In Texas, there's a proposal on the ballot to say that Sharia law will never be the law of the state of Texas. Can you imagine that we have to vote on that in the United States of America? It's incredible. Keep doing what you're doing, Randy Fine. Appreciate you, and I'm glad you're part of the free state of Florida. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, pal.
All right, folks, you know what I realized? So The Edge, I've been telling you to do this. I've been telling you to go to this QR code, use your phone, and subscribe that way. And I realized at some point, maybe you don't know how to do that. So Mad Dog and Ben and the boys and gals put something together. Ben, can you get on the horn and explain, see what we're doing right there? So when you do it, when you aim at it, let's start it over. Reloop that thing from the beginning, Ben, when you can. So when you aim your phone there, that yellow line comes up right there. Touch that yellow line with your finger. Then it goes to that screen right now, and it'll show you right there. You hit subscribe right there, and that's on the Edge platform on YouTube. It brings you the platform. You just hit subscribe and see how that little thing, the bell comes up. You're subscribed. Then you're part of it. You can get any of those episodes that we've done, or the shorts, whatnot. We are blowing the doors off. 12,000 followers, subscribers in 5 months, 1.6 million views because of you. I just want to make sure you know how to do that. Aim your phone right there. That little yellow thing comes up. You hit subscribe. We're going to do it again a little bit later in the show. We'll be back 2.5 minutes.
At Real America's Voice, we know that you want to be a part of something bigger. That's why we've teamed up with AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. to build a real community of folks who care about faith and our country's future.
There is no force on earth that can stop us from saving our country.
Want to be a part of this movement? It's easy. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now. That's right. Grab your phone and scan the QR code to join the AMAC and Real America's Voice family today. By scanning the QR code, you'll unlock exclusive content, connect with like-minded Americans, and be first in line for events that celebrate our shared values. So don't wait. Scan the QR code. Join us today and become part of a community that stands for faith, family, and freedom.
Real rights, they come from God.
With AMAC and Real America's Voice. Go ahead, scan the QR code now. Welcome to Real America's Voice Real Minute, your quick look at the powerful stories of faith and freedom, inspiring audiences across the nation. Angel Studios presents.
I'm Bo Davidson with this Real America's Voice Real Minute. Most people know the biblical story of David, the shepherd boy who fought Goliath and became king. Well, Angel Studios has created a new animated film called David that tells the story of Israel's greatest king.
There's a light I've always followed when I'm looking for the way, when I'm searching for the answer, in the moments I'm afraid. There's a whisper in the wind and a story in the sky when I'm looking for a lantern to illuminate the night. If you want the secret of freedom and feeling alive, you gotta follow the light. Follow the light.
For those who love great animated classics like The Lion King and Prince of Egypt, David is an awe-inspiring animated musical that depicts David as a spirited boy who fought lions, giants, and even betrayal, depicting how one boy's faith could lead him to be king of Israel. David will be released in theaters just in time for Christmas on December 19th, but your family can get a head start by watching the prequel to the film, Young David, which is streaming exclusively right.
This year marks a critical moment for our country as the opposition grows more aggressive and unapologetic. The fight now reaches into the everyday decisions we make. Patriot Mobile has been standing on the front lines fighting for freedom for more than 12 years. They don't just deliver top-tier wireless service. They're activists like us, like me, like you, who truly care about the country. Patriot Mobile offers prioritized premium access on all 3 major U.S. networks, giving you the same or better coverage that the main carriers have. That means fast speeds, dependable nationwide coverage backed by 100% US-based customer support. They also offer unlimited data plans, mobile hotspots, international roaming, and much more. With simple, seamless activation, you can switch in minutes, keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Doesn't matter. Here's the difference. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you'll be a part of a powerful stream of giving that directs funds directly into the conservative Christian movement. Take a stand today. Go to patriotmobile.com/RAV or call 972-PATRIOT and use promo code RAV, R-A-V, for a free month of service. Don't wait. That's patriotmobile.com/RAV or call 972-PATRIOT. All right, let's bring in our next guest, CEO and editor-in-chief of Just the News, No Noise, who has insight on the energy sector and how it's being affected by the Iran conflict. Always happy to have John Solomon with us. John, I know this I know this little area of the world very, very well. The Strait of Hormuz, a tiny little choke point waterway, and we'll put that graphic up right there. That tiny little upper mid to right side of the screen right there. There's a little area, and then we zoom in on the Strait of Hormuz. That little area. So what happened, John, we woke up this morning and oil was $77 a barrel. It was $6, $7 higher because what Iran had done, they attacked some of the ships that were moving oil through that area. Oil jumped. That's right. Stock market went down 1,200 points. Trump just came out within the last hour or so and said, the U.S. Navy will escort the shipping lanes, escort the oil in and out of the Strait of Hormuz. Tell us how that came about, and I will tell you, everything changed in the markets in the meantime.
Yeah, well, that's just it. First off, to put it in perspective, that $6 or $7 jump is much less than the first day after the financial crisis of 2008 struck. So, and by the way, inflation was a lot less then. So from a dollar-to-dollar perspective, it's not a really significant hike, but it's a harbinger that if we don't get on top of something, that it could spiral out of control. Markets can lose confidence and prices could go up, as we saw in the past, up over $100 a barrel in prior crises around the world. The Trump administration moved very quickly. They're watching Iran moment by moment. They're adjusting our strategy, the American strategy, in real time. And so I had the head of the U.S. Oil and Gas Association on the show last night, and they said, listen, we got a lot of things that people aren't thinking about. First off, to protect the American market. Remember, we just got 80 million barrels of oil from Venezuela sort of as a gift, and we could turn that up much higher, something that no president's had for the last decade, because during the Maduro years, they wouldn't sell us as much oil as they did in the past. So we can insulate our markets pretty well here with the extraordinary growth in drilling and the partnerships that we now have with places like Venezuela that we didn't have 3 months ago. But global markets adapt to global consequences. And so the importance for the president was to immediately stabilize the confidence of global markets. All right, yep, the Hormuz Strait is closed. Well, not for long, because the U.S. is going to now guide those tankers through. And if Iran tries to attack during that time frame, one, they'll get attacked sorely. And two, we have anti-missile capability to protect the commercial ships. And so this is designed to bolster the confidence of the marketplace. But the thing that's going to bolster the marketplace confidence the most is what we've done to the Navy and the Air Force of Iran in just 4 short days since we started the bombing. All the BDA assessments that I'm getting from my sources tell me massive degradation of those capabilities. We're still taking out missile batteries, but the Air Force and the Navy have been rendered essentially useless very quickly. And then today, the new team left behind by the team that we bombed on Saturday when we got rid of the Ayatollah Khomeini and others, they were having a meeting about how they were going to go forward, and we hit them again, which means that we've now taken out 2 tiers of Iran's top leadership in 5 days, something that hasn't happened in a very long time.
Okay, John, if I may just jump in, guys, and the reason why this is so important, look, I'm on record saying I just would rather not be involved in regime changes, foreign wars, and whatever. But I will tell you, by the fact that Trump was negotiating with Iran and then pulled the trigger very quickly when he realized it wasn't going to happen, it was important because we are escorting ships through the Strait of Hormuz. In the past, when we've had conflict with Iran, what they've done is they've put depth charges. They put mines in that strait so that you couldn't even escort them because they were sitting there waiting and they had to shut the whole thing down. I will also point out that for a full year of the 4 years in the Biden presidency, 1 full year, oil on average was over $100 a barrel without any conflict. So what Trump is doing with the energy sector is very, very important. We just need to keep our eye on, make sure Iran doesn't play any funny games with our ships in the area. Can we move on to this other thing I think is amazing that you found? And again, John, he exposes some of the most wild, interesting theories, and it's amazing. So there's a group in China, Chinese state-run media, let's call it that, who's been promoting an anti-Iran war stance for people in our streets here in New York, LA, and others. Tell us about that. That blows me away that this is actually going on. They want to destabilize us at all costs, don't they? Go ahead.
They do. And the network that's here on our ground has the benefit of American tax exemptions. They're treated as a 501c3. It's called the Singham Network. It's run by a former tech billionaire who now spends most of his time in the Chinese zone. He's overtly Marxist, and he's been behind everything from the anti-ICE riots to this past weekend, the anti-Iran attack riots. So one of the first things, we've been writing about this network, the Singham Network, for 2 years. Congress just did a whole investigative hearing based on our reporting. And what you see now is that not only are they causing mayhem on our streets with these protests, the ICE protests, the Iran protests, with anything else you can imagine we protested in the last year, they also are coordinating or certainly being echoed by the Chinese government's propaganda arm, which means the messaging of the Singham Network is aligned exactly with China's interests. That's why they would echo it. Jason Smith, 2 years ago, the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, the tax writing committee in Congress, asked the Justice Department and IRS to revoke their 501c3 status, the Singham Network, that is. It hasn't happened yet. It's kind of remarkable. He and others are shocked that the Trump IRS hasn't gotten this done. I think that's coming around
and
the corner.
that's the question, John. So walk me through this. So Singham isn't necessarily tied to the Chinese state, or he is. He's being assisted, backed, or Chinese wants to jump.
He's a sympathizer,
but not.
I think he lives in Shanghai,
money.
as I remember.
They're not exchanging funds. Chinese aren't paying Singham to disrupt peaceful life in America.
No, but he's spending his own funds. It's tax exempt under some circumstances. And the real question is, should we give a tax break under the laws that are designed for public good in America to a group that's creating public harm in America? That's the argument that Jason Smith and others have made. And I think, when you have these protests blocking law enforcement operations, causing accidents, causing harm, causing violence against local and federal authorities, that doesn't feel like the public good that our tax exemption was designed to be, the nonprofit status. And I think Jason Smith has seized on an issue that Republicans are going to roll very quickly on. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw the Treasury Department, basically, particularly in reaction to today's article, where you see China echoing everything Singham's doing, move more quickly to try to make a decision on whether this is a group that deserves a tax exemption going forward. Singham will say, hey, free speech, First Amendment. We'll see how that shakes out over the next few days.
This group is called the People's Support Foundation, correct? And he's the one who's spending millions. It says spending millions of dollars around to groups that destabilize the U.S. It's incredible that this is going on. And by the way, Bessent is now the acting IRS commissioner, right? Maybe he can. Yeah,
he is.
That's one smart.
And who's the day-to-day supervisor is Gary Shapley, the former FBI, former IRS whistleblower, Hunter Biden. Wow. You got two good people. They've only been in place for just a couple of months, and there's a lot to catch up on. But they're going to look at this. I think those letters that Jason Smith wrote, one, the most recent in October, the second in 2 years, really important. The hearing was really important. Yeah, what you see now is you have Americans who, in using our tax exemptions, our nonprofit status, are doing things that our enemies think are a good thing. That's probably not a good thing for America.
Yeah, it's got to be some bylaw in the IRS, little code of conduct that if you're paying people to destabilize the country, maybe it's time you lose your 501c3 status or C4 status for that matter. John Solomon.
That's the argument.
Always good to have you on. I appreciate your time. You make this show better and make this network better. Thank you, John.
Thanks a lot.
All right, folks, we will be back in 2.5 minutes.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shopped. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again. Every dollar you give is being matched up to $50,000. Go now to j6support.com and donate today. Through every storm, every moment of uncertainty,
everybody needs to pray for Charlie Kirk right now.
Rav has stood strong.
We're not going to tolerate this stuff anymore.
Turn that anger into motivation to save this nation.
When we move together, there is power.
The cries of this widow will echo like a battle cry.
This is more than news. It's a movement.
This revolution of people taking their countries back.
A turning point. A chance to be part of something greater than yourself. Scan the QR code and stand with Rav. The story isn't over, and neither is your part in it. Step in. Be counted. Be heard. Together, we are Rav.
We will achieve American greatness. And we are just getting started.
My name is Sandy Zeiss. Rav is the greatest for me because I live alone, and when I'm watching in the morning, have my coffee, I feel like I'm talking with family.
Hey, this is SEAL Team from Missouri. I like Real America's Voice because it's real news for real people, and it's real good.
Yeah, okay. What about you just look at this woman? All you have to do is look at her. No sound needed. You don't even have to hear what she's actually saying to know that venom and that lies are spewing out of that snake-filled mouth, that forked tongue. First, she's a Clinton. Second, she's Hillary Clinton. That's all you need to know, really. Videos are out. The most famous political couple of the last 30 years under oath. Not that the oath is worth much to them. Never has been, never will be. But awkward photos, contentious denials, an attorney snatching evidence out of a former president's seemingly nostalgic hands, and in a twist that no one had on their bingo card this week, Bill Clinton clearing Donald Trump of wrongdoing in the Epstein saga. But it's not just about what they said, it's about what it means, because when the same names keep popping up for decades, Americans start asking one very uncomfortable question. Does accountability ever reach the swamp? We've been saying that for years. I've been saying for years. I've been saying for a year and a month here. By the way, I never missed one episode of this show. I've been saying every day, where the hell are the perp walks? Where's the accountability in the swamp? So the House oversight, Epstein depositions drop, and the Clintons are back in the chat. Let's start with Hill.
I'm done with this. If you guys are doing that, I am done. You can hold me in contempt from now until the cows come home. This is just typical behavior.
We will go off the record.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
So I would like to understand how that's permissible.
Before the hearing was...
It doesn't matter. We all are abiding by the same rules.
I will take that down.
Yeah,
So
well...
I would like to take a break at this moment.
Yeah,
I'd like to have
I'm
a conversation.
done for now.
She must be fun to live with. How dare you ask me questions? Folks, don't be crazy. Hillary never knew Epstein, not socially, not personally, not in any meaningful way. Let's be honest. Is there anything really meaningful to Hillary anyway? The snakiest of the snake swamp creatures didn't know him, never met him. Maybe saw him once in a hallway, perhaps. Washington isn't like a Costco. You don't just accidentally bump into a cart with a billionaire and international financiers multiple times and never notice. This isn't Wedding Crashers, is it? Ghislaine Maxwell? She didn't just fall and accidentally bump into the wedding of the daughter of the president and his wife, the former senator, secretary of state, and presidential wannabe candidate. Photographs, overlapping events. Can everyone just stop talking to us like we're idiots? We're not. Yes, powerful people attend powerful weddings, but we're not crazy for thinking, how does everyone in these circles seem to have brushed shoulders with Epstein, but no one actually knew him?
Did Mr. Epstein end up donating to the foundation or CGI?
I have no personal knowledge of that.
You're not aware of a $25,000 donation from Mr. Epstein's affiliated companies to the foundation?
Only what I was told was alleged in preparation for this testimony. I did not know about that, and I don't know that it's true.
I know nothing. I saw nothing, Sergeant Schultz. Then there's Bill. And here's where it gets a little interesting, because he's asked directly about Trump's involvement with Epstein.
The president never, this is 20-something years ago, never said anything to me to make me think he was involved in anything improper with regard to Epstein either. He just didn't. And I have no information that he did anything wrong.
Kind of unusual in today's political climate, right? I got to say that. The man who ran against Trump's brand for years, whose party defined Trump and MAGA as an existential threat, sits under oath and says, no, not in this context. Significant, I would say, to say the least. But then he can't help it. Bill Clinton just can't help it.
First question I have for you, Mr. President. Have you ever lied in a deposition?
No.
Have you ever lied while under oath?
No.
Yikes, we beg to differ. And then the visual. Bill's handed old photos of himself with Epstein, looks at them, nods, almost nostalgically. It seems like flipping through a high school yearbook. Old habits die hard, I guess, as uncomfortable as the rest of us. Oh, my goodness. Bill's attorney then reaches over and gently but firmly removed the photos from his hands. Let's not make a photo op out of this. Less strategy and more, sir, let's not linger. Optics, Bill. Optics. You can almost hear the collective American sigh.
When you saw photos of your husband in a hot tub laying on a beach and getting massaged by other women, and you knew that Jeffrey Epstein was involved in some of these trips and these things, did it concern you at all?
I'm here not to offer my opinions. I'm here to answer specific questions to the best of my ability.
When you saw your husband in these photos with young women being massaged, what went through your mind?
I am not going to speculate.
You didn't have any feelings about young women massaging your husband?
I am not going to offer opinions or speculation about anything that I have no context for and was not there.
I love that prosecutor, whoever that questioner is. That was, by the way, where the hell is Alan Dershowitz now? This guy got 2 terms, but this isn't about one clip or one denial. It's about accumulation. Monica Lewinsky, Jennifer Flowers, Paula Jones, Travelgate. Bill denied things, admitted things. Hillary defended him fiercely, then retreated. Real estate controversies, foundation questions, treasonous foreign entanglements, the private email server, the wiped hard drives, the no reasonable prosecutor conclusion after years of investigation.
Although there is evidence of potential violations of the statutes regarding the handling of classified information, our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case. Prosecutors necessarily weigh a number of factors before deciding whether to bring charges. There are obvious considerations like the strength of the evidence, especially regarding intent. Responsible decisions also consider the context of a person's actions and how similar situations have been handled in the past. In looking back at our investigations into the mishandling or removal of classified information, we cannot find a case that would support bringing criminal charges on these facts.
Story is always different, but the ending always the same. Nothing really ever sticks. And now we're here again. Epstein, a man who operated in elite circles for decades, presidents, billionaires, academics, royalty, Hollywood, private jets, private islands, and when it all implodes, a collective, well, I barely knew the guy. Pretty remarkable, right? Epstein had the most successful LinkedIn network in human history, and yet no one recalls connecting.
She stated that President Clinton was her friend, not Epstein's friend. Is that accurate?
I'd say that it was accurate to say that I felt closer to her than to him.
And for the record, why was that?
Because I had seen her more, and because she was very good friends with Evelyn Rothschild and his wife Lynn, whom I knew and was in regular touch with.
Did not have sex with that woman. I'm sorry, sexual relations with that woman. Fancy little globalist and their fancy little circle.
You apparently took 26 flights on planes connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Was he on every flight you were on?
Was he on every flight I was on? That's a good question.
If you know.
What?
If you know, their flight manifest,
yeah,
do you know?
There'll be a record of it, but I think he was, or certainly on most.
You think he was?
I think that I had my first trip for the man who's now the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, and his wife. They helped me get started.
J.B. Pritzker, you see, it's not just about the Clintons, it's about the system, the swamp. And when the swampsters are adjacent to scandal, it's coincidence, nothing to see here. When regular folks are adjacent to scandal, it's conspiracy, insurrection. Or if you or I wiped classified emails, we're not getting a Netflix special or a book deal. Or if you and I were photographed repeatedly with a convicted sex offender, we're not giving paid speeches in the next year. Americans don't want vengeance. We want consistency, accountability. We want to know that when the hearings happen and people are exposed, something follows. Accountability isn't just a campaign speech word, or is it? Maybe it is, but we don't like it if it is. What does it even look like anymore? Is it criminal charges, political consequences, permanent reputational damage, or is it 48 hours of trending hashtags and then back to the Ivy League lecture circuit for them? Because when Hillary Clinton, one of the biggest political liars and hoax perpetrators in modern political history, takes to the airwaves to say things like this, no one even bats an eye anymore.
And boosting Trump back in 2016. But I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda. And whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrence.
For 30 years, 3 decades, the Clintons have survived investigations, impeachment battles, special counsels, congressional hearings. The ultimate political survivors. And each time it chips away at public trust just a little bit more. The same names keep appearing in controversy, and Americans wonder whether the system is just designed to exhaust us into apathy. 2 sets of rules, one for the connected in D.C., both sides of the aisle, folks, by the way, both sides of the aisle, the swamp creatures, and one for you and me, everyone else, until that perception changes, until we see consequences that look even fair, blind to status, then these hearings resolve nothing. I've been saying it, pounding the table here. I asked lawmakers, when are we going to see a perp walk? Hearings don't matter. Does power protect you from accountability, or is accountability only something reserved for people without it? We'll be back in 2.5 minutes.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shopped. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again. Every dollar you give is being matched up to $50,000. Go now to j6support.com and donate today. Through every storm, every moment of uncertainty,
everybody needs to pray for Charlie Kirk right now.
Rav has stood strong.
We're not going to tolerate this stuff anymore.
Turn that anger into motivation to save this nation.
When we move together, there is power.
The cries of this widow will echo like a battle cry.
This is more than news. It's a movement.
This revolution of people taking their countries back.
A turning point. A chance to be part of something greater than yourself. Scan the QR code and stand with Rav. The story isn't over, and neither is your part in it. Step in. Be counted. Be heard. Together, we are Rav.
We will achieve American greatness. And we are just getting started.
My name is Sandy Zeiss. Rav is the greatest for me because I live alone, and when I'm watching in the morning, have my coffee, I feel like I'm talking with family.
Hey, this is SEAL Team from Missouri. I like Real America's Voice because it's real news for real people, and it's real good.
Here's a quiz. Name one thing the left loves more than a murderous tyrant. All right, fine. Illegals, even violent illegals. So name something the left loves more than a tyrant or an illegal. Terrorists. So name something the left loves more than a tyrant, an illegal, or a terrorist. Well, clearly, it's getting a Soros-funded paycheck to go out, slap a piece of cardboard to a sign, and protest something in the name of hating President Trump. Let's see. Pride flag, Ukrainian flag, Palestinian flag, Mexican flag, Venezuelan flag, and now Iranian flags, but nothing is worse than when an American politician peddles a now debunked story about the U.S. and Israel hitting a school, which now turns out to have been caused by a misfired Iranian rocket.
We have to reconcile why our bombs were used or Israeli bombs were used to kill children, young girls at a school, and what the imminent threat was. It hasn't been described.
So Gavin Newsom, more than happy to fly a jet over to the other side of the pond, slam America and Americans, deliver outright treason from his slick-backed hair and head. But when he's asked a simple question about the California governor's race, he nearly hyperventilates and refuses to give any sort of real answer.
Oh, you know my position. I don't talk about this governor's race.
Even if I ask you if you're concerned about blackout, whether some of those.
No, I know. I told you. This is where I need. I have to let it go. I have to accept the fact that I have a sell-by date and I'm a milk carton, and I just haven't fully.
There's a term, empty suit. You ever heard of empty suit? Is there a better example of an empty suit you've ever seen in your entire life? The man is just about the hair in the suit. That's it. His policies are horrible for the state of California. It would be horrible for the country. Oh, look, another one of the insurrectionists has something to say about the president's freeing a country from a terrorist regime that wants to wipe America off the map. Mark Kelly, senator, proving more and more with each passing day what a disgrace he's become.
Donald Trump is a, unique individual, and I think he's not suited to be the leader of our country, right? I certainly didn't vote for him, and I think he's the wrong person for the job for a lot of different reasons. In my view, when he tries to do something that's pretty significant, he screws it up. Immigration enforcement, what happened in L.A. and Minneapolis has been a disaster. I mean, ICE now needs to be totally overhauled because this guy cannot manage anything. And now he's going to try to manage a war overseas. We've got the American people have to be evacuated out of 14 different countries. And by the way, he's the guy that set up the conditions that got us into whatever this situation is to begin with, because he tore up the Iran nuclear deal as soon as he became president the first time.
No, he didn't tear it up. He enforced it by bombing Iran. Obama tore it up. What the hell are you thinking? Couldn't he have just left that guy in space somewhere? All right, hold on a second here. Did John Brennan, remember John Brennan, that treasonous former CIA, agent, or he was like the head of the CIA, who helped set up Donald Trump based on a hoax? Did he just compare people in Iran who supported the Ayatollah to MAGA here in America? I think he did.
It's not. Yes, there are a lot of Iranian people who despise the regime and hated Khamenei and are glad that he's dead. But also, the regime and the theocracy have a lot of people who supported them. It's a country of over 92 million people. And so they have their equivalent in the rural areas, conservative areas. There's the MAGA equivalent in Iran.
Oh, my God. That guy should be in jail. John Brennan should be in jail. Absolutely should be in jail. This is always wild to me, how the women on The View actually know nothing, are researched on nothing, and they still come out and speak to whichever hundreds of thousands of women who don't know any better. But to listen to ill-informed women pretend they understand something about foreign policy, why would we even listen to these lunatics? But surely that doesn't stop the likes of Ana Navarro.
From war. Netanyahu is facing criminal charges for corruption back home. Donald Trump is facing very low numbers and Epstein files that are not, and we will not let go away. And so, I think that's where a lot of Americans are. That
I can't even stand listening to this. This woman claims to be a Republican. Ana Navarro claims to be a Republican. It's like Joe Scarborough and Mika and morning lunatics. News alert, Anna, Iran's been operating against America through those sleeper cells for 47 years. They've already been at war with America for 47 years, but don't take it from me. Take it from, the folks over at CBS.
If you're looking for an origin point of this current war, don't look to the earliest hours of this Saturday. Look back to November 4th, 1979. That was the day Iranian revolutionaries stormed the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, capturing 52 Americans and parading them in blindfolds for the whole world to see.
A new and daring element was disclosed today in the Iran crisis.
Yeah, okay, so I guess it's not new, Anna, perhaps. There's panic in the leftist media world right now if this Paramount and Warner Brothers Discovery merger goes through, which would in effect place CNN and CBS under the same umbrella. I can only imagine what those hallways would look like right now. Here's a little sample of the mood courtesy of Trump derangement syndrome victim Jimmy Acosta.
Do we want Scott Jennings anchoring the CBS Evening News or anchoring AC 360 and talking about what a great president Donald Trump is and how he's the best president since George Washington and Abraham Lincoln? Well, I mean, what kind of crazy Stranger Things upside down world are we going to become if that's the kind of news and information that we have pumping out over the airwaves?
They don't like it because Larry Ellison, who's a conservative, now is going to own CBS and Paramount. It's going to be very, very interesting. Will CNN become MAGA? Probably not. But maybe they find their true north, which is they claim to be fair to both sides. Kind of doubt it. All right, folks, let's do this. Ben, let's talk a little bit about the edge, right? Here's how I've been telling you to subscribe. I've been telling you to point your camera right at that QR code. Benny, can you help walk us through? You guys put together a video.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
So go ahead.
So if you aim your camera at any QR code, you may have to tap on it just to lock it in, but a little yellow tab will pop up at the bottom, and it'll take you directly to our YouTube page here. You can hit subscribe, and once you are subscribed, there's a little bell that pops up next to it, and you can click that to receive notifications whenever Eric posts.
Yeah, and just re-rack that and re-roll that. And I just tell you, folks, I appreciate you doing this, because when YouTube sees the bigger group, we're 12,000 strong in 5.5 months. It's insane. They call that elite level. Let's get it big. Let's get it. We're going to go to 1 million. It's just going to get there. I just want you part of it, because when they see the bigger number, they actually put the content out to more and more people because they see the growth and they want to benefit from the growth. We benefit too. So please be part of this. Thank you for watching Real America's Voice. Thank you for watching this show. Thank you for aiming your camera right at that and see that yellow thing that Ben described. Press that and you'll subscribe. We'll be back 2.5 minutes.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shopped. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again. Every dollar you give is being matched up to $50,000. Go now to j6support.com and donate today. Through every storm, every moment of uncertainty,
everybody needs to pray for Charlie Kirk right now.
Rav has stood strong.
We're not going to tolerate this stuff anymore.
Turn that anger into motivation to save this nation.
When we move together, there is power.
The cries of this widow will echo like a battle cry.
This is more than news. It's a movement.
This revolution of people taking their countries back.
A turning point. A chance to be part of something greater than yourself. Scan the QR code and stand with Rav. The story isn't over, and neither is your part in it. Step in. Be counted. Be heard. Together, we are Rav.
We will achieve American greatness. And we are just getting started.
My name is Sandy Zeiss. Rav is the greatest for me because I live alone, and when I'm watching in the morning, have my coffee, I feel like I'm talking with family.
Hey, this is SEAL Team from Missouri. I like Real America's Voice because it's real news for real people, and it's real good.
All right, let's do it again. One more time for the folks in who are still working on our phones. Benny, take us through it, brother. See that code? Tell us how we do it.
So if you aim your camera at any QR code, this little yellow box will appear at the bottom of your screen. If you just tap that, it'll take you directly to the YouTube page. Once you get to the YouTube page, it'll be as simple as tapping that subscribe button. Once you do, a little bell will pop up. You can turn on notifications, and you'll know whenever Eric posts anything.
There we go. It comes up, and like I said, the bigger the group, the farther they push us. We love it. Thank you. Always watching Rav from the morning to night. Just keep it here. You learn everything. You don't need to go anywhere else. Just get all your news right here. 4 o'clock, we really crush it. Love having you here, too. And also, just want you with me on The Edge. Appreciate you, and thank you for subscribing to The Edge. All right, Benny, we got some voicemails, yeah?
Yes, sir. The first one we got here is Barb is worried about boys in her granddaughter's sports.
Hey, Eric. This is Barb from Tacoma. Watched you when you were in Seattle. Great guy. Anyway, isn't it amazing that I have to worry about my granddaughters now playing in sports with a bunch of boys here in this state? It's ridiculous. I hate this state. I hate the way they govern. Anyway, good going. Have a great day.
You know, Barb, thank you. Yeah, Washington, probably, do I say the most liberal? It could be one, if not the most liberal, one of the certainly top 5 most liberal states in the country. They don't care. Oregon, Washington, Vermont, New York. I mean, wow. So move. I know it's beautiful up there. Isn't it amazing? California, Oregon, Washington, beautiful country. It's loaded with liberals. Benny.
We have a viewer who says the price of gas is going to go way up.
Price of gas is going to go way up. But politics, 1 week is a lifetime. By the time this is all over with, we're going to sweep the midterms. These Democrats who are all against this crap, I call it crap because, war is crap. No one likes war. But anyways, we got it. We had to do it. It had to be done. It's like my sewer, my toilet's plugged up. Someone's got to fix it. I'll do it. So America is fixing everybody's toilet, and they're getting slammed for it right now. But come midterms, when everything starts coming around, President Trump has perfect timing, man. I mean, perfect. I can tell it already. It's going to work out perfect.
Well, interesting concept. Now, first of all, oil prices will go up as the crude oil price goes up. It takes about 45 days to run. So if an oil company buys oil, some of it's imported, some is purchased here. But if they buy a barrel of oil at $72 a barrel today, they put it into storage. By the time they work through their storage, they have about a 30 to 45 day storage. That's why you see a bunch of tanks around a refinery. When they work through the price, then you hit the price of this oil that they just bought, and they have to raise the price of gasoline just to make up for the price they paid for the input of the crude oil. So yeah, prices will go up. But the guy's right on one thing. Like, if we get prices up now because we did this thing in Iran, it'll have plenty of time to come back down because Trump will pump oil out, bring the price of oil back down. That would be really good at midterm time. Benny, another one?
Yep, we have a viewer who says to play the Democrats' videos at every presser.
Eric, keep up the good job. I'm just watching this video, this Schumer that wants ID checks, 1996. I bet you Hillary and all these other Dem rats, we ought to just play their videos every day when they do the press conference. This is a kick. But keep up the good work, man. I love your show. Thanks.
Thank you. Schumer, yes. Famously, Bill Clinton, on one of his State of the Union, said we cannot have an open southern border. We would ruin our sovereignty. Obama had said it at one point. Hillary certainly said it. They all said it back in the day, but for now, they realize that they are so screwed because the only way they're going to win elections going forward is with illegals' votes. Again, I will tell you, you want to stop illegals from voting? Sure, pass the SAVE Act. That'll help first and foremost. Get Thune off his ass and go pass the SAVE Act because he can do it. You can get this thing passed. Do it, John Thune. But barring that, Trump could say through his Department of Justice, if anyone is caught illegally voting in one of our elections, you're going to get deported. Your whole family's going to get deported, and you're never going to be allowed back in any way, which way or the other. It's a great way in the meantime before we. By the way, you got to pass the SAVE Act, guys, before midterms. If you don't do it before midterms, you may never get another chance to do it. Certainly not in a long time. Pass the damn SAVE Act. Get on the phone, call John Thune's office, and say, pass the SAVE Act. I think we need to do that. Benny, I think we ran out of time. I don't think we can squeeze another one in, but always
I
good.
have an 8-second one real
Hey,
quick.
do it. Let's do it. Yeah.
Hey, Eric, Matt from Vegas. How you doing? I don't know about you, pal, but if I was married to Hillary Clinton, I think I'd live on Epstein's Island. What's your thoughts about that? See you later.
See, I think this is a trick question. When I heard this, I said, this is a trick question. I could never say I'd live on Epstein's Island, but if there was going to be anything that would push me towards that, it wouldn't be towards Epstein. It would be just somewhere else, but I couldn't imagine.